Your levels of energy changed. You feel more fatigue. You have trouble losing weight. Your mood is different. Sometimes you feel depressed. Sometimes you feel anxious. And then you thought, something is wrong with my hormones. And then you looked for a doctor and you run some blood work. The results came back normal. And then your doctor said, just go home, you are okay. But actually, you're not feeling okay. Something changed. There is a huge difference between being inside of the range and being optimized. Of course, we want to be inside of the range, so we are not sick. But what about our well-being? Feeling good in your skin, look beautiful, have a good memory, a good sleep, feel happy. This is different. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 4 blood works that sometimes come back normal, but you don't feel well. It's because they are not optimized. Stay with me. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Camila and I am from Brazil. I'm a health coach and I take care of women. So let's talk about 4 blood works that make a huge difference in your life. Of course, we have many different things to evaluate, but in today's video I will focus on these 4 blood works. First one, cortisol. We always think that cortisol is our enemy, but actually you need cortisol to survive. If you don't have cortisol, you are dead. So let's see the blood work, 90.6, and then we see that the lab range is from 5.3, let me grab this, 5.3 to 22.5, and her cortisol levels are 9.6. So we think, okay, it's okay, she has good levels of cortisol, but she is waking up feeling tired. So again, cortisol is not our enemy. Just think that we need cortisol for energy, focus, okay? It's anti-inflammatory. It's good for many different things. So in the morning is the time when your cortisol levels must be high. So you can wake up, have energy, and do your stuff. If your cortisol is very low in the morning, you don't want to wake up. You wake up feeling tired. You want coffee for everything. The first thing you think in your day is coffee because you need energy. This is low cortisol. And cortisol changes a lot throughout the day. So in the morning, your levels must be fine, high. You see the range, 22.5. Try to have cortisol levels close to the top of the range. And then throughout the day, your cortisol starts to drop and it's fine. At night, it needs to be very low so you can sleep. So you see that cortisol is important. Just need to be in good levels. When you have high cortisol, you may feel anxiety, your insulin levels may change, and when your insulin levels are unbalanced because of cortisol, you may accumulate more fats, especially in your belly. So cortisol should not be so high, but it should not be very low. When it is very low, your body will also have problem to mobilize fats. So if you have low cortisol, you have no energy in the morning, you don't mobilize fats well, and you don't have results in your workout sessions because you need that kind of energy to recruit the muscle fibers. So going back to the blood work, this cortisol that I just showed you is in the blood, and there is a huge difference between salivary cortisol and blood cortisol. The salivary cortisol is more accurate. So you see here in the morning, her cortisol levels is 0.34. We see that the range is below 0.7. As I told you in the morning, it's good to have higher levels of cortisol, not too high, but higher levels, and she's 0.3 and the range is 0.7. Her cortisol is low and she's feeling that. Her problem with cortisol is because for a long time she doesn't sleep well, she has trouble, she has sleep apnea, and over time it also unbalances cortisol. Okay, so she is complaining that she is not losing weight. She is having trouble to put on some muscles at the gym, and she is having trouble with memory cognition because cortisol also supports that. So you see that cortisol is not your enemy. Don't think like this. And I have her blood work cortisol and it's super high. Why? Not always when you see your cortisol in your blood work, it really shows what's going on. The steady value cortisol is better. Okay, it's going to be more accurate. This day, her cortisol was very high because she had some kind of stress before the blood work, and then the levels of cortisol went up, and we don't see the accurate results. And it's very sensitive. So in the day that you do the blood work, um, you have to have a very common day, because if you have some kind of stress, something different, your cortisol levels may go up, and that doesn't reflect what's going on. Okay, and there are other blood work that you can also check, of course, together. The DHA sulfates, you can check that. If it's very low, also shows that your cortisol may be low. If it's in good levels, maybe your cortisol is also in good levels, but it depends. You have to check all the situation, how the person feels, and so on. So you can do many things to try to lower your cortisol if it's too high, or to try to improve your cortisol if it's too low. It's easier to fix a higher cortisol than a low cortisol. So supplements that you can use. Magnesium, you can use the glycinates or threonates, helps reduce tension, improve sleep, and wind down at nights, because when you are under stress, your sleep may be affected. L-theanine is very nice if you have anxiety. It's nice if you have high cortisol. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen you can use in the morning or at night. It's going to improve your sleep, may lower your blood pressure. So if you have low blood pressure, just take care. Rhodiola rosea is helpful for stress-related fatigue and low resilience, but be careful, it can be a little bit stimulating for some people. So if you are under high cortisol, if you have a lot of anxiety, it can worsen the situation, so be careful. Phosphatidylserine, this one is when you have high cortisol at night. When your cortisol is high at night, you cannot sleep well. It's super hard to sleep. You try to sleep, but you have a lot of things coming to your mind, and you just cannot sleep at all. So this is the next way to help. Glycine is very useful as well, supports sleep quality and relaxation. It's very nice for sleep. If you have troubles with sleep, try this one. Omega-3, it helps with inflammation and may help stress response and moods. Vitamin C supports the adrenal, stress loads, and oxidative stress. Let's go to the second one. Insulin. Many doctors won't check the insulin, they will just check your blood glucose in the morning and A1C. But insulin is also important. When you have good levels of insulin, you feel better, you are able to gain more muscles in the gym, your blood sugar is more stable, you don't feel hungry all the time. But when insulin is not working well, you end up having more cravings, you end up gaining more weight, you inflame more, you can have more brain fog, you can have hypoglycemia sometimes. So it must be good. And when we look at the ranges, you see this blood work, the range is from 2.6 to 24.9, and her insulin is 11.6. She is struggling a lot to lose weight. She's not losing weight at all. And this is because this level of insulin, 11.6, is not optimized. If you have your insulin high, this one is high. It's not pre-diabetes, but for weight loss purpose, this is too high. So you are not going to lose weight well easily if your insulin is 11.6. Optimized levels for athletes below 3, 4 or 3. My insulin is 2.9. But for regular population, women that don't train, don't have a lot of muscles, we can try something below 5. Okay, it's going to work. But more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, you're going to struggle to lose weight. So when you go to your doctor, if you have an insulin in 11.6, he will say it's fine, your blood work is nice, but it's not. Okay, it's very high. So supplements that may help. Of course, the first thing that's going to help is diet and exercise, and improve your sleep and improve your stress levels. Supplements are just a support, but they help. First one, Vivian supports blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity. Watch for medication interactions and GI side effects. It also can happen with metformin, and metformin is very useful as well. People are scared about metformin sometimes because they think that's just for people with diabetes, but this is not true. It is very useful and it's cheaper. Myoinositol, it's used for PCOS. It supports insulin sensitivity, ovulation, and cravings. Magnesium also supports glucose metabolism, insulin sensitivity. Chromium picolinase may help sweet cravings and glucose control in some people. Alpha lipoic acid. may support insulin sensitivity and, in some cases, neuropathy. Fiber is also important. Soluble fiber is nice. Psyllium, glucomannan, blunts post-meal glucose spikes and improves satiety. Apple cider vinegar may reduce post-meal glucose spikes and higher carb meals, also if you have acid reflux. Omega-3 helps the inflammatory cardiometabolic picture that often coexists with insulin resistance. Third one that many times people have problem and just don't notice in the blood work is the thyroid. If you have a good thyroid, it's easier to lose weight, your water balance in your body is fine. Of course, I'm talking about the isolated hormones. We need to check everything in the body. So your hair is going to be nice, temperature is going to be fine because thyroid helps regulate your temperature, your moods, your levels of energy, and so on. If your thyroid is low, you may feel sad, you may feel some kind of fatigue, and it's hard to differentiate from the cortisol levels if you have low cortisol as well. So the blood work helps. So your hair is going to be weak nails, a lot of water retention. It's super difficult to lose weight. You feel colder than anyone else, and so on. So let's see the blood work. It's a client from the United States. Usually they ask about the TSH only, but the TSH is just a messenger in the body. If you have good levels of TSH but you feel very bad, a lot of symptoms of low thyroid, it's better to further check your thyroid. So let's see the blood work. TSH, you see it's green, it's inside of the range. 2.43 is not optimized, but it's okay. Optimized would be 1.7, 1.6. You see the T4 is 1.2. It's okay, it's fine, it's in good levels. When you go back and check the free T3, which is the free form of the hormone, T3 is the guy that actually speeds up your metabolism, makes you feel well. It's the hands-on guy, the guy that will make you feel good. It's 2.2, it's not optimized. Okay, it's green, but optimized is near 4. You see the beginning is 2 and it goes to 4.4. So if she had 3.2, 3.3, she would feel better. So you see the blood work, it looks green, it looks fine, but it's not optimized. Then she is feeling all the symptoms of low thyroid. Okay? And she got a message from her doctor. Good news, your thyroid function is normal and your cholesterol levels has also improved in comparison to last year. Keep it up, great work with your healthy efforts. But she is struggling, she's feeling tired, she's feeling all low thyroid symptoms. So you see that the blood work doesn't say everything. There are other blood work you can check, the reverse T3, and not always what we see in the blood is actually what's happening in the body. Because sometimes you have a free form of a hormone in your blood, but you don't know what's happening in the receptors. This is the most important thing, but the blood work will give you an idea. But the symptoms are the first thing you should check. People will have low thyroids because of many different reasons. If the person has low cortisol, the thyroid can be affected. If the person doesn't eat enough, thyroid can be affected. It's the case of this client. If the person is not eating the vitamins and minerals that help with the conversion, it will be also low autoimmune disease and so on. Things that you can do regarding to supplements. Be careful with some thyroid supplements. I will just inform you about some, but it always needs to be individualized. Selenium will support the conversion of T4 into T3 that I told you, the hormone that is the active form and it's going to help with your metabolism and well-being. Zinc, important for hormone production and conversion and immune function. Iodine only makes sense with true deficiency and requires caution in autoimmunities, especially Graves' disease. L-tyrosine, building block of your thyroid hormones and catecholamines, may feel stimulate anxiety provoking for some, so be careful. Vitamin D, immune modulation support. Iron, if your levels of iron and ferritin are low. If you have some kind of anemia, it can affect also your thyroid, so you should check your blood work. This is also a blood work that you should be paying attention, but I'm not going to talk about it today. B12 and folate, if low, common in autoimmune hypothyroid and can impact energy. Myo-inositol plus selenium is a combo used in some protocols for higher subclinical TSH. It's case dependent. There are many different things that you can do for your thyroid. So let's go to the fourth one, B12, if you have good levels of B12, you feel okay, you feel energized, your brain functions well. B12 supports your nervous system, essential for the red blood cells, and also participates in the metabolism of homocysteine, which is a marker associated with cardiovascular health. Your levels of homocysteine should not be super high. If you have low levels of B12, you can feel fatigue, you can have neurological problems, your homocysteine can go up, and so on. Let me show you the blood work. You see 396, it's inside of the range. The range is 223 to 672. And she is in the beginning of the range. And for me, optimized levels are over 700. I would say 800, 900, but it depends on the person. Sometimes I don't check just the B12, I check the methylmalonic acid. That's going to really tell me if you have vitamin B12 deficiency or not, but you can check also the homocysteine. If it's too high, maybe it's because of B12 deficiency. So people don't absorb well vitamin B12. I like to prescribe methylcobalamin, which is the active form of B12, but some people won't absorb orally or even sublingual, and for those people, sometimes we try injections because it's going to be better. Again, it's better to check the other blood work that I just said. So methylcobalamin, active form, often used for neurological symptoms and energy. Be complex sometimes because of the homocysteine. As I told you, it will help to lower the homocysteine if it's too high. Folate in the form of methylfolate. Riboflavin, also part of the B complex, is a key cofactor in energy metabolic pathways. Sometimes when the homocysteine is too high, I also like to support my clients with beta TMG. It can support high homocysteine in some contexts, as I told you, depends on the profile. So you see that not always being inside of your range is the best thing for you. It's individual. Being optimized will make you feel better, lose weight, feel beautiful. So pay attention to this. I hope this video helped you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and let's grow this community. Thank you so much.